Hi everyone, my name is Jared Lee and I work at NCAR in the Research Applications Lab, mainly doing renewable energy forecasting. But in my other job, I'm a wizard, an NCAR wizard. So I've been in the show the last 2 or 3 years. You might recognize me, although this year I don't have my cool pointy hat or my wizard robe. And I do wish that we could be up in the Mesa lab. So I hope but I hope that this year you're having a good time watching all the videos from the other wizards through the day and other experiments, other science content. And hopefully next year we can be in the Mesa lab all back together again in person, because I certainly love seeing all your smiling faces, hearing all your energy, your laughter, shouting of your questions and answers. It's a lot of fun to do these shows in person. But as we all know, we've been home a lot the last 7-8 months or so. And when we have gone out, say to the grocery store, we've had to wear masks pretty much everywhere we go when we're around other people in order to keep them safe from COVID-19. So as we've been wearing masks a lot and been home a lot, I've had a lot of time to think, what else could we use masks for? So I have several of these reusable cloth face masks like this one here and the one I was just wearing. That got me thinking, like, what else could these be used for? But if you hold this upside down, it looks kind of like a parachute, a little bit, maybe if you squint. So that got me wondering, like, could a face mask be used as a parachute to stop, say, an egg from breaking when it hits the ground? And maybe it takes more than one. Maybe how many face masks would it take to safely land an egg using the masks as a parachute? So do you think we should do that?
Yes.
My 3-year-old son Evan thinks we should do that, so let's go. So as I said, I have several of these cloth reusable face masks. But for this experiment, since I don't know if the eggs are gonna break or not, I really don't want to risk getting egg yolk or egg white staining one of my nicer face masks. So what I did instead is I went to Costco and bought a pack of standard one-time use disposable face masks. These also come in the standard surgical blue that you normally see everywhere, but I thought black is better for a wizard and it's more slimming. So we have several face masks here laid out, parachutes made from 1, 2, 4, and 6 masks. So I'll just demonstrate with the one mask for now. So these are the standard over-the-ear face masks. So we have a safety pin hooked in here to a hair tie. And if you don't have a hair tie, a rubber band can work as well. And for the basket, we have 2 really small Tupperware containers. Any small plastic container could work, but you want to make sure that the egg can't just rattle around too much, otherwise that might cause the egg to break artificially. So we have 2 baskets, because in one of the baskets we'll add a layer of padding with just a little bit of Play-Doh, just as a little insulation, because I have a feeling that might help. We also have clothespins here to attach the mask, or attach the parachute rather, to the little bucket. So what we do is you turn the little bucket upside down and run the clothespin through the hair tie, and then do it over here. See if I can do this. A wizard should be able to do this with both hands, and I'm right-handed. All right, so now we have our little parachute. Now we're ready to put our egg inside and try to nestle it in there, and you can see it just sits in there right like that. So this container is actually just about the perfect size for an egg. So do you think we're ready to try this out? I think so. Let's go. So the other supply that I didn't mention just a couple seconds ago is a ladder. And this is useful. This is a 6-foot ladder, but this is useful just to get a little bit of extra height so that we can really test out this parachute well. And so all of these supplies that I've shown, you probably have at home, at least most of you, I would assume. But still, it'd be good to have one of your parents outside with the ladder, just to make sure that you're safe and you don't fall. And also, before you start testing egg parachutes with masks, you want to make sure that your mom or your dad didn't have plans to use those to make scrambled eggs for breakfast tomorrow. So here we have an egg in a basket with one mask as a parachute. So do you think that one mask will be enough to slow down this egg so that it doesn't break when it hits the ground? What do you think? Well, I think let's have a countdown. We should have a countdown to drop our egg. This will be from a height of about 7 feet or so. So let's have a countdown from 5. So
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, that did not sound good. Let's come check out the damage. And we have a lot of yolk and a very, very cracked egg. So this egg did not survive the fall with just one mask. So I think we need to try 2 masks. Let's see how that goes. So now for our second attempt, we have a parachute that's made of 2 masks. This has a much larger surface area than the one mask did, and so it should be able to generate a lot more air resistance and slow down the egg quite a bit more effectively than the one mask. So do you think that 2 masks will do the trick as an egg parachute? All right, let's have a countdown again from 5. So I'm dropping it from about the same height, 7 feet or so. So countdown from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's see how
that didn't sound good either.
No. And that egg is also pretty badly cracked. Good for scrambled eggs, if that. So clearly two masks isn't enough, so I think let's try 4. Let's double it. So for our next experiment, we're trying a 4-mask parachute. Now, if you just have 4 masks together, string them together, there are going to be gaps between those masks. So you need something to try to hold them together. So the first thing that we tried to do is we used safety pins to pin them together. But it was quite apparent after we did that there would still be significant gaps between the masks. And what happens when you have gaps between them is that allows air to flow through those gaps, and that makes the parachute not work quite as effectively. And so we need to have as much air resistance as possible to slow down this basket with the egg. And so instead what we did is we used duct tape. So we have duct tape along the seams of the masks on both sides actually. So let's see if this works. So I'll climb up the ladder. So do you think that a 4-mask parachute is going to work? All right, so let's have a countdown from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I also heard that sickly sound of a breaking egg again, I fear. Yeah, although this one is not as badly broken as the previous eggs. The first 2 eggs were smashed pretty well. This one, it's still cracked pretty badly, but it seems to have had a somewhat reduced impact. So I'm cautiously optimistic that 6 masks will work. So let's try that next. So for our next experiment, we have 6 masks as a parachute arranged in a 3x2 array. So it looks kind of like a parachute that you'd see a hang glider use, maybe. So let's see if this will work. All right, so do you think that this 6-mask parachute will work? All right, let's have a countdown from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, it seemed to fall a little more slowly, but I also heard the classic egg crack. So yeah, that one smacked pretty good and is pretty badly broken. I think this one, it hit the clothespin, so I think that's why it broke even more. So I think we need to try something else to try to help out our parachute. So as we saw in our last experiment, using 6 masks as a parachute unfortunately did not prevent the egg from breaking. It didn't give quite enough air resistance, though it did seem like it was falling more slowly. So I think we need a little bit of help for our parachute, and we're going to use Play-Doh for that help. So we bought, we have a whole bunch of these 1 ounce Play-Doh containers that we got at Costco to hand out for trick-or-treating. So I don't know if that makes you want to come by our house or not next year for trick-or-treating, because we give out these and not candy. I don't know if that makes us lame or cool, but that's what we do. Anyway, so take out this Play-Doh and fashion it into basically a little pillow or a pad with a little bit of an indentation down here in the middle for the egg. So we stick this down into the container. Now before we put on the egg, we'll get the parachute all hooked up. Hopefully I'm doing this the right way. And make sure we're not all tangled up. Looks pretty good. All right, now we'll grab an egg, stick it in the basket. So now we have the egg in the basket with some padding. And with this padding, what we think it will do is it'll act kind of like an airbag does in your car, so that if you do get into an accident and the airbags deploy, the airbags will absorb some of the force and protect you from getting injured quite as badly. So that's what we hope will happen with this egg. So, do you think that a 6-mask parachute with a little bit of Play-Doh padding in the bottom will keep the egg from breaking? All right, well, let's have a countdown from 5 and find out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It bounced out, so I think, wow, not a crack on this egg. So I think what we've learned is that not only are airbags important, but so are seat belts. So make sure you wear your seatbelt, make sure you wear your mask, and I hope you all stay safe and have fun trying this experiment. Hope to see you next year in the Mesa Lab.